Hey everybody, my name is Dowden, and in this 2-minute tutorial we're going to be looking at how we can add instant groove and variation to our audio and MIDI tracks by using Ableton Live's groove pool. Let's go ahead and dive into it. I have this little wavy symbol here, and it's actually for the groove pool. So you can open that up, right click inside the browser, and browse groove library. This is going to bring you into the groove presets that you have inside of Ableton. And we can go to swing and groove. I'm going to go to percussion, and then I'm going to go a go-go one. And when you click on this, if you have this little headphone symbol activated, it's going to give you a preview of what that groove sounds like. So what we can do with this groove now is we can drag and drop it into the groove pool, or you can drag and drop it onto individual tracks. And based on the settings that you dial in, it's going to influence the MIDI or audio information inside of your tracks to add a bit of that groove into the information inside of your tracks. So I'm going to drag and drop it into my groove pool, and I'm just going to double click this drum loop, and we can take a listen. So you can hear that it's pretty repetitive and pretty stagnant. We can grab this groove and drag and drop it onto the track. And with this timing here, we're going to set that all the way to 0 and the velocity all the way to 0, and it's not going to do anything to the track. The timing represents the amount of influence from the actual groove, where the velocity influences the different amounts of velocity inside the groove pool. The randomness doesn't use the same timing, so if you include a bit of randomness, it can add a bit of organic feel and a bit of humanization, but it can also make it sound a little bit too off timing if you introduce too much of it. So I'm going to introduce the timing to 100%, and I'm going to bring in about 15 to 20% velocity and just about 5 or 10% randomness. And this is going to make it sound a little bit more groovy, a little bit of variation, a little bit more humanized. Okay, and then if we go into the clip section of our track, and we see here we have this little groove area, and we can click on the different grooves that we're using, and I'm going to choose here commit. And when I hit commit, you're going to see a little bit of difference in the placement of the MIDI information, as well as the velocity is going to slightly change because of the settings that we have here. So when we click commit, it's going to commit these changes from the groove pool into our MIDI information. So you can see that some of the notes are a little bit different and the velocity is a little bit different. You can do the same settings for audio as well as your MIDI information. So I'm going to drag it onto the audio now. And let's go ahead and introduce the same settings from the groove pool and hit commit. You can see that it slightly moved over some of the transients, and it slightly adjusted some of the velocity as well. And that's it. Just dialing in a little bit of velocity, a little bit of randomness, and a little bit of timing into your tracks from your groove pools can make them sound a little bit more interesting and add a little bit of groove and variation very quickly to your tracks. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up.